Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the Bitcoin breakout is finally here, not only on the daily time frame, but we are also now seeing a massive bull market signal flash on the weekly time frame, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside Ethereum still playing out this bullish divergence, while Solana is also still playing out this bullish divergence. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the super trend indicator is still sitting in the red, at least for now, so not much has changed here on this chart. But if we're looking at the 2-day Bitcoin chart, over the last 1 day, we've now officially confirmed a new higher high in the price of Bitcoin on the 2-day time frame, which is something important to pay attention to, because this is the first real sign of a potential trend reversal, not just in the short term, but the longer term trends that could last for many months. But ultimately, we still need to confirm a breakout above this massive descending line of resistance, which is still sitting at around 67 to 68,000. Because, of course, during this bearish trend right here, we have seen multiple short-term bullish trends and multiple rejections from this same line of resistance right here. So we still need to see a breakout above around 68,000, but we're getting very close to that level. So if we can soon see a breakout above 68,000, once again, that would be an extremely bullish signal on this chart, setting up a major bullish price target for this descending broadening wedge pattern, and potentially signaling a bull run that could follow over the following months if we first see a confirmed breakout above 68,000. But either way, whether or not that happens, of course, the shorter term trend is still bullish, as I've been saying over the last couple of weeks. And now if we're zooming out to a larger time frame, looking at the weekly Bitcoin chart, and more specifically looking at the weekly Bitcoin RSI, because right now the weekly Bitcoin RSI is experiencing a major breakout from this massive descending line of resistance that has been holding down the RSI for over half a year, since near the beginning of this year. And so despite the fact that, at least as of recording this video, we have not yet confirmed a breakout above this descending line of resistance for the price of Bitcoin that has been holding the price of Bitcoin down for around half a year or so, despite that not yet happening, at least as of right now, we have already started to see a major breakout in the RSI, which could be a leading indicator. This could be a signal telling us that we're soon going to see the breakout in the price action above this line of resistance. Because if we're looking at the last few times where we've seen a major breakout in the weekly Bitcoin RSI above a major descending line of resistance, previously this has acted as a major bullish signal on the larger time frames when we're talking about the bull markets here, the multi-month long bullish trends, sometimes even trends that can last for up to a year or so. And so that's what we're talking about, a massive bullish signal, a bull market signal on these larger time frames, which has now actually confirmed here in the weekly Bitcoin RSI. And so once again, this could be a leading indicator telling us that potentially very soon we might end up seeing a breakout above this line of resistance above around 67 to 68,000. And once again, that's really the final confirmation that we need to see in order to flip extremely bullish on the price of Bitcoin for the next few months, potentially when we're talking about the larger trend here on the larger time frames. And so ultimately, all we're waiting on now is that breakout above around 68,000 to confirm in the price of Bitcoin in order to basically bring back the bull market that obviously we've missed over the last half a year or so. And so, of course, if we see a confirmed breakout above 68,000, very soon after that, we'll likely see new all-time highs in the price of Bitcoin in the next following weeks or so, if we first see a breakout above 68,000. So we're just waiting to see that confirmed first. But once again, this signal in the weekly Bitcoin RSI could be a leading indicator telling us that potentially very soon we might see this breakout here in the price of Bitcoin above 68,000, because this is a major bullish signal on the weekly Bitcoin chart. And if we're zooming into the daily Bitcoin chart, looking at the DXY, ultimately since my last video, we've seen a bit of choppy sideways price action in the DXY, so not much has changed since yesterday, but things are still looking more bearish than bullish for the DXY in terms of the shorter term trend here, which once again is bullish for Bitcoin, because usually, not always, but usually when the DXY is trending in the bearish direction, oftentimes that's usually bullish for the price of Bitcoin, or at least somewhat neutral for the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin, and we've seen that over the last couple of weeks or so with the DXY trending in the bearish direction and the Bitcoin price trending in the bullish direction here in the short term over the last couple of weeks, as I've been saying over the last couple of weeks. And now if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, we are now finally seeing the confirmed breakout above this massive area of resistance, which was previous significant resistance in the price, and that was sitting in between around 64.1k to 64,500. And so right now we have essentially seen the confirmed breakout. Now technically speaking, we still need to see this daily candle close actually confirm above around 64,500. So technically speaking, it's not yet confirmed, but at least as of recording this video, we are trading well above 64,500, over $1,000 above that resistance. So there is a pretty good chance that we will confirm this breakout. Of course, nothing's guaranteed though until we see the candle close. But ultimately, as of recording this video, based on where the price of Bitcoin is currently sitting at, the next major area of resistance to the upside is sitting in between around 67 to 68,000. And that's really the final significant area of resistance before we start testing the all-time high level closer towards around 73 to 74,000. And so once again, really the final obstacle between the current price of Bitcoin and all-time highs is this resistance in between 67 to 68,000. So expect the price to struggle around there. But if we can see a breakout above around 68,000, then expect new all-time highs to potentially come soon after that if we first break out above this resistance, which remember, the price could struggle at in the short term. And now, if we end up seeing a bit of a short-term pullback or rejection from this resistance, for example, this previous resistance should now be acting as new support in case we see any sort of pullback here. And once again, that's sitting at around 64.1k to 64,500, which should now be acting as new support. But if we were to see a breakback below that area, in that case, we do have some support at around 63,000, more support at around 61.9k, and more support in between around 60 to 61,000. And despite the occasional rejection or pullback along the way, technically speaking, the shorter term trend here on the daily time frame is still bullish, as I've been saying basically every day over the last couple of weeks. And if we're zooming further into the short term, looking at the 6-hour time frame just recently, over the last few hours or so, we've now invalidated this short-term bearish divergence. So obviously this already played out pretty well, but obviously played out very quickly. Usually a bearish divergence on the 6-hour time frame plays out over a couple of days or so, but this only played out over around 1 day. But either way, we did end up seeing this bearish divergence ultimately play out just relatively quickly. But now that we've seen a breakout above this previous high in the price, and also a breakout in the RSI above this descending line of resistance and above this high right here, these are all invalidation signals to invalidate the bearish divergence. So right now, we no longer have this bearish divergence active at all in the short term. And ultimately, we're carrying on with the bullish trend, because remember, a bearish divergence is not a trend reversal signal. Sometimes it can result in a slight pullback or some choppy sideways price action, but not necessarily the end of the bullish trend. So like I've been saying, we're still in the bullish trend. It's just like I've been saying, we don't always move in a straight line. Sometimes we can see the occasional pullback along the way. And if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take just about all of my trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus. But that's only if you use the link below this video to make your Bybit account. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a massive lucky draw happening right now over on Bybit, where you could potentially win up to $100,000 just by trading crypto using the link down below this video. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is Bitfinex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitfinex, which means if you're in the US or the UK, for example, or another country where you might not be able to access Bybit, you can access Bitget. So I'll also leave a link to Bitget down below this video. And if you use that link, you can get up to a 5.5k deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the Bitget exchange. But that's only if you use the link below this video to make your Bitget account. And so as another option out there other than Bybit, once again, there's Bitget links down below if you want to claim those extra bonuses. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and over the last one day, obviously we've taken out some of that upside liquidity, which was starting to build to the upside, as I mentioned in my last couple of videos, and that was sitting in between around 64.9k to 65,500 approximately, and we've now basically taken out that liquidity. And we still have more liquidity to the upside, sitting in between around 65,500 to 66,500. So just keep that in mind. There's still some more fuel to the upside to basically continue squeezing the price a little bit higher. But with that being said, we still have that major level of liquidity to the downside at around 62.2k to 62.3k approximately. But just keep in mind, even though we have that major level of liquidity right there, there's not a 100% guarantee or anything like that we're going to actually hit that level. Sometimes it's a likely scenario, maybe an 80% chance or 90% chance that we might take out a level of liquidity, but not a 100% guarantee. So just keep that in mind. And so, of course, that means maybe 2 times out of 10, we might end up missing these major levels of liquidity along the way. So ultimately, it's important to consider what the current trend is, which is what I've been saying over the last few weeks. The shorter term trend is technically bullish, at least for now. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, we're continuing that major bounce from this area of support, still sitting in between 2150 to 2.2k. So nothing's changed in that regard, and we still have this major level of resistance, which was significant previous support, and that's sitting at around 2.8k. So 2.8k is definitely the level to watch here on the 3-day time frame, because if we see a breakout above 2.8k, that would be a trend reversal signal on the larger timeframes here, which would be an extremely bullish signal if we can actually see a confirmed breakout above 2.8k, which for now has not obviously happened. But of course, here in the short term, over the last couple of weeks, the price of ETH has already been trending in the bullish direction, mainly as a result of this bullish divergence, which has been actively playing out over the last few weeks or so. And obviously, I've been talking about this basically every day since all the way back down here when the price was below 2.3k. I've been saying that we have an active bullish divergence playing out right now, most likely going to result in a bullish relief or at least a bit of a sideways consolidation. And that's exactly what we've seen over the last few weeks. And technically speaking, the bullish divergence here in the daily time frame is still currently active. It's still playing out right now because we've not confirmed any invalidation signal to invalidate the bullish divergence. But if we're zooming further into the short term, looking at the 3-hour time frame, technically speaking, over the last few days, we obviously played out a bit of a short-term bearish divergence here just on the 3-hour time frame, because obviously on different time frames, we can see different things. So of course, a bearish divergence does not necessarily contradict a bullish divergence if they're on 2 different time frames. So for example, this bearish divergence on the 3-hour time frame played out like this, but if we're zooming out on the daily time frame, that bearish divergence playing out is just this slight little pullback right here, which can happen during a bullish trend, as we can see here. But as of right now, this short-term bearish divergence on the 3-hour time frame is essentially completed at the moment, because it's already been a couple of days of this bearish divergence playing out, which on the 3-hour time frame is very normal to see before potentially invalidating the bearish divergence. And right now, we are getting very close to potentially invalidating this bearish divergence. Technically speaking, we've not confirmed the invalidation just yet, but we're getting very close to invalidating the bearish divergence on the 3-hour time frame, considering right now the RSI is very close to potentially breaking out here above this line of resistance, and also the price is getting pretty close to these previous highs. So like I said earlier, for Bitcoin, if we see a breakout in the highs in the price, or if we see a breakout here in the RSI, those are invalidation signals to confirm the invalidation of the bearish divergence and essentially continue this short-term bullish trend with the bullish divergence that's technically still active here in the daily time frame. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the daily time frame as well, right now Solana is still actively playing out the bullish divergence, which once again I've been talking about basically every day since the price was at around $130 give or take. And so right now we're still playing this out in the form of a short-term bullish trend after obviously seeing that successful retest and breakout from this previous area of resistance, now acting as new support just a few days ago here, and that's sitting in between around 138 to 143, once again acting as support. And as for other support levels, we should have a bit of support at the moment at around 153 give or take, since we've just broken out above that level, which was temporarily acting as a bit of short-term resistance. But as for resistance right now to watch out for, we do have resistance in between around 159 to 163 based on previous resistance, so keep that in mind. But if we can see a confirmed breakout above 163, in that case we have some more resistance at around 170 to 175 and significant resistance in between 183 to 187. And so those are the support and resistance levels that I'm currently watching for Solana on the daily time frame. And of course, the short-term trend is still bullish, as I've already been saying here on the channel, and the bullish divergence is still technically playing out. But if we're taking a look at the 8-hour time frame, we're potentially forming, not confirmed, but potentially forming a bearish divergence here on the 8-hour time frame, because at least for now, we've just confirmed a new higher high in the candle closes in the price, while forming lower highs in the 8-hour Solana RSI. But it's important to understand that at least as of right now, this is not yet confirmed. We still ultimately need to see at least one, but ideally two red candle closes confirming here in the price on the 8-hour time frame, which for now has not yet happened. Because obviously, if we continue to see some more green candles here and we never actually confirm any red candles, in that case, that could drag the RSI further to the upside. And if we see an RSI movement to the upside above this previous high, in that case, would have higher highs in the price and higher highs in the RSI, meaning there's no divergence. And so that's why we need to see more confirmation to actually confirm the lower high in place in the RSI by seeing a bit of a short-term rejection, something like that. So for now, once again, the bearish divergence that's potentially forming on the 8-hour time frame is not yet confirmed, but it is something to just be aware of in case it does actually confirm potentially in the coming days. But unlike this previous example of a bearish divergence on the 8-hour time frame that we saw for Solana back in late July, unlike that example, it does not always result in a bearish trend reversal. Sometimes it could result in perhaps a slight consolidation or a slight pullback before continuing the bullish trend higher later on. But once again, that's only if we first confirm the bearish divergence, which for now has not happened. So overall, we're still currently looking more bullish than bearish. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.